All right, here's another video. It's a quick mod. A lot of Can-Am guys are gonna hate it. I think it's a well worthwhile mod and it's probably a good safety feature in my opinion. So I'm gonna tell you guys about it even though it's kind of ghetto. So I was route riding this machine and that machine back to back, right? The XMR 700, XMR 850. The XMR 700 brakes felt better. So I wanted to go in and bleed the brakes on this because it felt like they had some air in them. And I started playing with it and I realized a lot of the reason the brakes felt bad was because of the combined braking system. So let me show you what this thing looks like stock. So this is the stock brakes. You've got a left-hand lever here, which is a parking brake, and it does the front and the rear brakes. The problem with that is I don't like left-hand levers because I ride an XR 400R over there and I drive a Foreman 500 right there where your front brakes are with your right hand. That's good for me because I like to drink water while I'm riding. And, you know, I can do the throttle, hit the brake with one hand, and my other hand is available to hold a water bottle. So I wanted to get rid of the left-hand brake. I like right-hand brakes better. So I figured if I got to bleed these brakes in this new machine anyway, I might as well fix that. So what I did was I stole the master cylinder off my Foreman 500 and it bolted right up to my Can-Am. Same size handlebar, same size banjo fitting. All I had to do was reroute the brake line. So it used to come up over by the air box right here. Now it comes up on the right side of the belt intake snorkel. I just had to reroute it. I also had to flip it, so that used to point the other direction. I turned that 180 degrees, and now there's plenty of slack to hook it up with this little bend this way. Okay, so now I have a very nice feeling right-hand brake, which is excellent for people who ride motorcycles or Hondas as well as their snowmobile Can-Am. But I wanted to go a step further than that. I hated the combined braking for a lot of reasons. Number one, it makes the brakes feel really squishy because a lot of your front fluid has to travel down this whole line to the rear and apply the rear brakes too. Not a very performance feel. It's hard to do stoppies when your brakes feel like that. So I wanted to get rid of the combined brakes. Another reason is if you're climbing a really steep hill and you can't make it to the top and you got to back down, you want to apply just the front brakes. If you apply the rear brakes, the bike will flip over backwards on top of you. Those are the reasons I hate combined braking, so I deleted it. This banjo fitting right here is not a banjo fitting anymore. It used to be hollow. I welded it solid, and then I put pipe tape on the threads to seal the threads so the fluid wouldn't leak around the threads. And now I do not have combined braking. All right, so there's the factory banjo fitting that used to connect the front brake line to the rear master cylinder right there. As you can see, I have welded it in so it is no longer hollow, and I put pipe tape on the threads so the threads don't leak. The reason I did all that is because I wanted to keep that little bleeder. That bleeder is critical to getting the system working because this line will have air in it because there's a loop right there. This just applies the front brakes. This just applies the rear brakes. It's excellent. You may have noticed a few metal shavings here. That's because I grinded this lever, because this is the Foreman lever, so it doesn't hit my throttle assembly. Probably not necessary, but you know, I did go overkill on everything. So I got to rinse all the brake fluid off this machine. All four wheels are just bled. That's why the back tires are off. And yeah, I think it's a good mod. The brakes feel a lot better. I was able to adjust this to have the proper angle for the brakes, and now I have one hand driving where I can do my throttle, my four-wheel drive, my throttle modes, my engine braking modes, and my front brakes, all with my right hand as God intended it, and my left hand is available for holding water bottles.